Ryan McCaffrey here, Justin Davis there. You're on IGN, and we are playing Elder Scrolls Legends, the new card battle game.
Yeah,
Justin, you've got to help me.
Hearthstone-like.
Yeah. See, now the point of this Let's Play is for you to help people like me. I know the Elder Scrolls series very well from the RPGs. I don't know anything about card games.
Yep.
So what do I need to know about what the hell I'm seeing on screen here in order to have fun with this?
Well, what we're playing right now, this is the closed beta that I think will eventually turn into an open beta that everyone can sort of get their hands on. But right now, it's sort of a more limited group of people. And this is the very first match in the campaign or in the tutorial, so it's sort of going over the basics here. It looks like, power here, health here, fairly rudimentary stuff if someone's played, Hearthstone or played a game like Magic the Gathering or really any of these card games. They all have sort of their own unique flavor and their own unique twist on things. But some things are sort of very similar.
Your cards are on the bottom, and you're attacking whatever the cards on top are, correct?
Yeah, and it's clear as day, and I said the same thing when I saw this game at E3, that it's taking a lot of inspiration from Hearthstone specifically.
So if you played that, you're going to be in good shape on this game.
Yeah, it's doing that in things like... so I'm getting a card here that can give someone +4 attack and +1 health. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah, if we buff up him right here, he'll be able to take out this guy.
Boom, gone.
And so the way that the cards smash into one another and sort of that visceral feel to it is, that's something that was not really a part of the card games genre before Hearthstone very much. And it looks like since this is the first, tutorial battle, they're not really getting into the mana or the casting cost too much. You can see it down here in the corner. That's another thing that's similar to Hearthstone. Well, let's see. Now I have a choice to make. Should I go ahead and attack him and try to almost kill him? Or...
Okay, so the cards are basically the defense, then you've got your main enemy up top there?
Yeah, but I can choose. The decision that I'm making right now is should I attack one of the other units or just skip it and attack, him? And I'll go ahead and just do that.
All right, so you sacrificed that guy but took out one of his defenders.
And then he's going to take out my guy.
Ooh, a mud crab. Scary.
Yeah, so they're definitely taking it easy on me. Like, he could have taken out this unit, but now... Well, let's just add insult to injury and give him 8 attack and just...
See ya.
Blam!
Well, that worked.
So what I was starting to say is this game gives you 1 new mana every turn. So first turn you have 1 mana, second turn you have 2, and then that allows the game to sort of ramp up nice and slowly and steadily, where by turn 4, 5, or 6 you can cast your big, powerful beasts. And it stops you from really playing those cards right at the very, very beginning of the game. And that's another very Hearthstone-esque thing, where instead of... Ooh, am I opening like some bonuses?
Do it.
Nice. You'll be able to upgrade the starter cards.
So, is it fair to say that I'm going to make a comparison that's a personal example?
Sure.
So, I don't really play strategy games, but I love Halo.
Yep.
Halo Wars, I was able to get into fairly easily because the familiarity with all the units in Halo made the transition fairly easy for me. I'll give you another example.
Sure.
The South Park... what the hell was the name of that South Park game?
Well,
it had a big, crazy name. You know the one I'm talking about? The
Well,
tower defense game.
Oh, the South Park tower defense game where you're throwing the pea snowballs. I can't remember the name of it
I don't
offhand.
play tower defense games, but because I know South Park really well, I was able to use my knowledge of South Park and what each character is and what they're good at in order to have fun and get to know the game. So in your experience so far with this, does the same apply here where my knowledge of Elder Scrolls can help me get over that initial learning curve hump of a CCG?
I would say no, actually, which I don't know if that answer is surprising or not. But right now,
I was hoping you'd say yes.
I
won't
know.
lie.
I mean, this is a very fun game, and it's a great game, and it's accessible. But I would say it's light-ish on Elder Scrolls lore.
Okay.
Like, when I was playing Hearthstone, it looked and felt like you were in a tavern in the Warcraft universe. Everything from the announcer to, the different barks that the cards would make, all of it looked and felt just like Warcraft. Whereas the lore here, and it's a little bit more, it feels a a little bit more like kind of generic fantasy.
Right.
And there are some exceptions. Like I got the there's a card that's the Wabbajock, which is the the staff that's in a lot of the Elder Scrolls games. And so there is sort of some fun Elder Scrolls flavor in there, but I would say it's lighter than it is in some other games.
But that's good to know going in then. If you're an Elder Scrolls fan, that you are going to have to pick up the actual elements of the CCG. It might be a little trickier than a South Park Tower Defense or a Halo Wars kind of situation.
So I want to take a sec here. This second tutorial battle sort of introduced this game's key, like the big thing that sets it apart from other games in the genre, which is that there's 2 lanes of play. There's this left lane and there's this right lane. Okay. And the cards, I'm annihilating my opponent, so he doesn't have any defense right now. But you can't switch over. Like a card in this lane can't attack a card in this lane. So that accomplishes a few things. If someone lays a huge beast or something over here, I have a choice to make. Do I try to put a stop to it, or do I just ignore it and try to dominate the other lane? So it's this little subtle change that actually opens up some more interesting strategic choices than you might think. I haven't found any sort of lore or in-game story reason for there being these 2 lanes. Like it's just sort of more of a gameplay mechanic right now.
Yeah, makes sense.
You can see that, there's fairly standard card game stuff where, like, this is just a spell. Like, I've been laying mostly creature cards, but here's something, hey, deal 3 damage. So you might say, oh, I'll deal 3 damage and just kill this opponent. Yeah, or I can just win the match. You can see, like, other fairly standard digital card game stuff where there's a record of the last few actions or last few turns. If you want to review what happened, if you forgot or if things move too fast, there's some other sort of metadata down at the bottom as well. And I think if we go through one more tutorial battle, we can talk a little bit more about what these 2 lanes. Like, if there's one thing people take away from Elder Scrolls Online, it's this 2-lane system is what sets it apart from other games.
From Elder Scrolls Legends.
Excuse me, I misspoke. If there's one thing that separates it from Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone.
Yes. All right, let's move on. Because I currently don't know this genre at all, but the Elder Scrolls element would interest me.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that we're coming at it from such different directions, where I've been playing Magic the Gathering for 20 years, and Hearthstone and Ascension and, sort of other flavors of card games like Dominion, and you're coming at it from the direction of someone that's, really new to card games. So, yes, I'll be curious to see what you think, when you download this game and get a chance to try it out for yourself.
Indeed.
One of the things we don't really know too much about will be, this game is free-to-play, and exactly how, like, really with these free-to-play games, the devil's in the details, whether it feels good or doesn't feel good, based off what you get out of the game for free, or whether you feel like paying players have a huge advantage over you. And, we're just going to have to wait and see how that goes.
Yeah, that might be what the beta's for all we know.
Yeah, sort of balancing some of that. I mean, we did notice after every match we were unlocking a few cards and sort of giving us enough to sort of work with and build a basic deck.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a little bit more about this 2-lane system now.
Yes.
Where it's just interesting. Like, I've never played a card game quite like this. Here's a card, when I summon it, it deals 1 damage. So it's like, I could summon it in this lane and then just take this thing out.
Take him out, yeah. Now, if you didn't, though, the AI could attack on the left lane and just hurt and take 1 hit point off of your main self, right?
Well, he's got this Vile Imp has 2 attack and 2 health.
Yeah.
So the AI would have the choice of dealing 2 damage to my face, or the choice of taking out this enemy unit.
Okay.
And so, so I do have a couple interesting choices here. I could also summon this, which gives him 2 more health, and that would keep him alive for a turn. But I don't actually necessarily
I'm always an offensively minded guy myself when it comes to these.
I feel the exact same way. And for that reason, rather than trading right here, I'll probably go ahead.
Go straight for the jugular.
Go straight for the face, and then, put the onus on the AI to figure out what they want to do. Makes him a little stronger. It's still not enough.
But what if he shot you in the face?
What if he would have hit me in the face?
That's a risk we were willing to take.
So I really like summoning, this is 3 attack and 4 health, and I like putting it in this lane because he only has 2 attacks. So unless he's got some tricks up his sleeve, which is super possible, he's got 3 cards in his hand, this guy should be okay over here. Knock on wood. Those are famous last words. But, that's the kind of stuff that I like to think about when I'm playing a card game. Is like, what's going to keep me safe next turn?
we kind of touched on a minute ago. So, what are the general strategies in a game like this? You could be offensively minded, as you've been kind of hinting at, and go straight for the jugular, or you could just play wear down the defenses, right?
Yep.
Are there any other general strategies to take in something like this?
Yeah, we'll see. Let me actually after this match, maybe we'll be able to pop into a menu and see. There's different card types that do some different things, and that I don't know if like some of them are a little bit more advanced, so we'll see if we've unlocked them. But the different colors, like the red are sort of the offensive cards, and the blue are sort of the tricksy cards that maybe have, there's mechanics that'll do things like it'll look like you're really strong on the right side, but there's cards that'll flip them over onto the left side and do some things like that. So here's an interesting just bit of just card strategy. Here's 3 damage, 4 damage, 5, 6, 7, and I have a card that deals 3, so I'm 1 damage away from being able to kill my opponent this turn. But since I can't quite do it, I'll spend that 3 to keep him safe instead.
All right. But what dictates how many cards you can play on a turn?
So you have this mana total that's going up by 1 each turn.
Okay.
So I had 5 mana to work with. Next turn I'll have 6. Next turn I'll have 7.
Okay.
And then the number in the upper left is what it costs to summon a card.
Got it.
And so that's what stops you, again, as we were saying a little bit earlier, that stops you from just, if you happen to draw a super powerful card, you can't necessarily play it right on turn 1.
I'm with you now.
And it looks like he's playing a couple cards that buff up his creatures. The game is basically a game of you lay down creatures and smash them into each other and smash them into your opponent, and then you do things to deal direct damage or buff up creatures. There's nothing too, even if you're a card game newbie, there's nothing too out of the ordinary or wild there. And then let's see, after this match ends, if we can sort of poke around the deck builder or, or just sort of see a little bit more about those colors. Oh, we're getting a little bit of lore and story.
Yeah, in middle school, I wasn't hanging out in the library playing Magic the Gathering. Instead, I was wasting my time just BSing with my friends out on the playground.
Oh, yeah, no, I was a super big Magic the Gathering nerd back then. Yeah, I like these level up rewards. I mean, there's a lot that I still need to learn about this game. I've only played it a little bit. So I know, for example, one thing that's different about this game than Hearthstone is the cards can actually be upgraded and get a little bit more powerful. So yeah, we're seeing it right here in action.
Upgrade. Look at that. 6 attack points now.
Yeah, so it went from 4 attack to 6 attack. And, that's something that, as a free-to-play game, it really matters how that's balanced.
Yeah.
Like if it's balanced well, it'll feel okay, and if it's not, it won't. So that's definitely something that I'm curious to keep my eye on. Like, how far does that upgrading go? We're just skipping story stuff for now.
Cool.
So let's see. I actually don't know. Maybe we need to get through all this stuff before. Yeah, it looks like we have to complete Act 1 before we can get through the deck builder. But in terms of strategy, you pick a class. Like, it's the Elder Scrolls classes, Archer or Mage or those classes, and then that determines which cards you can put in your deck. Like a Mage deck might be full of really tricksy cards, whereas a Warrior just has sort of straightforward attack and defense cards. And that's sort of the flavor that they're using to try to separate this game from some others.
So maybe if I'm new to this, should I start with a Warrior? Is that going to play a little simpler, maybe?
That'll probably play a little bit simpler, yeah. And I mean, what we're going through right now is the very sort of, it's easing you into the game.
Yeah.
Like, you'll notice we have these little pips here on our character portrait now, and those represent health. Like, you get to do special stuff that can help turn the tide of the game as you start to lose health. And so that wasn't in the earlier tutorial battles. But now that it is in there, hopefully, maybe we'll see some of that, and then we can say goodbye to all the folks.
Yeah, well, you've been teaching me some good lessons here. Let's do this one last match.
Yep.
See what we've learned, and then we'll wrap up here.
Yep. So normally, this 3/2 would be able to take out my 1/2, but I have this card that can give him a little buff, make him a little bit stronger, and he should survive one more turn.
Oh yeah.
And so, like, again, these 2 lanes, like, it is a really interesting strategic choice. I can put a 2/1 here to try to deal with him.
Just cancel that out, right?
Or I can just say, screw him. I'll just let him hang out over there, and I'll just try to really make this side strong. So, we'll play it safe.
All right.
Like, I haven't played this game enough to really understand what's best yet.
Again, I like I'm very pro, You're being proactive here. I like that.
Yeah.
And
And so,
you're down to 13 hit points. So.
yeah, I am. So what just happened when I lost one of these runes? So I lost 5 health, and it let me draw an extra card. So this game has these elements to, prevent one player from snowballing into
a
another.
landslide victory kind of situation.
Exactly. So now I have 4 cards to my opponent's 2, where card advantage is really everything in a game like this. So let's see. I just laid a minion. So normally, I don't know how closely you've been paying attention, Ryan. Cards can't attack the turn they come into play.
Okay, I did not know that.
But this card has a special ability, Charge, which does let him attack the turn he comes into play. So
boom, he's gone.
yeah, we can maybe balance things out here a little bit.
Oh, get some.
Yep. Take him out. And, okay. Well, I
Clear
lost.
the defense. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Everyone pays a toll.
Yeah, so but he wasn't able to deal with what's going on over here. And
All right,
we'll
so
just-
you got a clear line
Yep.
to the main health supply here.
6-2. I like that.
I'll man the wall.
Oof.
War and glory.
So
Boom.
I think we'll see when we deal 1 more damage to him, he'll lose one of his pips, and then at that point he'll get to draw a bonus
Okay.
card. Oh.
Just vomited up a bunch of cards. But what is that? Those Khajiit?
Oh yeah, I wasn't. Yeah. It
Yes,
looks
they
like
are. Low-level Khajiit.
Deal 1 damage to all enemies. So I don't.
That's perfect.
Right. So here's the deal. Here's my conspiracy theory. This is a tutorial match, and I wonder if the game just does this deliberately. Like, will a new player to card
Well-
games recognize the opportunity? Oh, it's so perfect.
I love it.
Well, I'll take it whether it was deliberate or
That's
not.
right.
I'll take it any way I can get it.
A tutorial should make you feel good and want to keep
Yeah.
playing the game after all. It shouldn't beat you to death.
Yeah,
and scare you away.
I like that comeback mechanic. I like drawing cards as you take damage. I just think it's good.
I mean, is that highlighting an element, though? Are there scenarios where you can be in really good shape, sitting pretty, but then your opponent draws a single card that can turn the tide for them?
Sure, yeah. I think I think the 2 lanes minimizes that in this instance. In
Yeah.
a game like Hearthstone, if an opponent lays a gigantic creature, you got to deal with it. It just dominates the board. You don't have any choice. But now that creature can only dominate half the board, and you can keep someone safe on the other side of the board and have a little bit more strategic flexibility there.
Well, fantastic. Justin Davis, thank you so much. I learned a lot as an Elder Scrolls RPG fan, learning something about Elder Scrolls Legends, the card game. Hopefully you guys found this useful as well as you jump into this free-to-play game heading for beta. For much more on everything in the world of Elder Scrolls, whether it's the card game, the RPG, etc., keep it tuned right here to IGN.